Hey, what's going on? It's Bunny Flocks here. I know it's been a couple weeks, so I apologize for that. Just been busy with life. I got my son here. He's gonna do the contest. He's gonna do the contest. Where are you going? All right. He's gonna do the contest for the free book that I promoted 2 weeks ago. Um, Again, apologize. It took so long, but we finally got it here. So if you want to go ahead, he's gonna read out the winner. So. Uh, you want to hit the button, hit start, and then read the winner?
Right here?
Yeah, the mouse is right here. You gotta hit that button right there. Hit start. And get ready. Doo-doo-doo. And the winner is... What's that name?
Derek Calhoun.
So tell the camera. Say, Derek Calhoun, you are the winner.
Derek Calhoun.
You are the winner. Congratulations. You want to tell him? Tell Derek?
You're the winner!
Okay, there you go. So, thank you guys again. Sorry it took so long. We're gonna definitely do more of these. But Derek, I'm gonna contact you. I'm gonna send you either an email or a YouTube comment. Send me your information or tell me what book you want from the list, and I'll get that over to you as soon as possible. So, thank you. Bunny Flocks here. My son here, Lil Flocks.
Bye-bye!
And we'll see you next time. Thanks. Hey, what's going on? It's Bunny Flocks here on one of my road trips. I just wanted to do a quick recording. Well, you know I talk about cyber a lot. If you look on my header, I have my categories as cyber, tech, business, and life. Something that I told myself that I would stay away from in this YouTube channel endeavor would be politics. But when it comes to me speaking on something, an idea I have or something like that, I was going to keep it bipartisan, not favor a side or, a political party agenda, red, blue, Democrat, Republican, whatever. And I'm gonna continue to do that. But something that I've been thinking about, so every now and then I'll just have an idea or, my brain will come up with a solution to many of life's problems. Like, I know this world isn't perfect. There are very good things and there are very bad things. Politics in America, in this country, is something I consider greatly flawed for obvious reasons, regardless of your agenda or political party or idealism. But so I just want to share something real quick that I feel is a possible solution to politics in general. I mean, I philosophize a lot. I do some real deep internal thinking a lot. Think deeply, and I come up with solutions that I probably should be more vocal about, or write down, or blog about, or whatever. I'm sure there's a lot of people like that. I'm not in a position, obviously, I'm not an aspiring politician. I'm not an aspiring anything to do with politics, but I do have ideas that I think can help the planet, help America, help the way we live in this country. So something that I thought of, that I came up with, is, okay, so how we choose politicians. And I know we don't necessarily choose the politicians that we vote for at all. In a lot of respects, they choose themselves. A politician, an aspiring politician, or someone with money, power, influence, essentially nominates themselves, stands up on a pedestal and says, hey, look at me. I'm the man or I'm the woman. I'm the person that I nominate, or what's the saying? I'm announcing my candidacy for president because I have the solution, because I know better than everybody. I'm the person. Look at me, vote for me. I can help everybody. And I know it's not every presidential candidate or every politician, but if I had to put a number to it, I put it at 97% of those people that nominate themselves obviously have huge egos. Like, you have to have an ego to stand up and say, hey, look at me, I'm the solution. When it comes time to run for office, there's that time of the year where New people stand up and say, hey, I can do this job. I can be a senator. I can be a congressman. I can be a president of the country. I feel like, again, 97% of those people are flawed in their thinking, if they're in their methodology, because of their ego. Like, it takes a huge ego to stand up and say, I have the solutions. And I think that a lot of that ego reflects into our culture today, in our politics, and what we see on TV, what we see in the news, what we see what's going on in politics today, where we just have a bunch of egos with their own agendas, with their own concerns, and trying to do things to help themselves and people like them, their friends, their family, their cohorts, their business people in their class. And I feel like that's the problem. I feel like that's a huge problem with politics in this country. And again, I'm not saying this is all of them 100%. I'm saying this is 97%. And I think that's a huge issue. I think that's a huge reason why we are so divided in our politics. The two-party system is a monstrosity. It's just us versus them, or them versus us, or red versus blue, or rich versus poor. It's a duality system that doesn't serve the greater good. It doesn't serve everybody. It doesn't even serve your respective position. It doesn't serve, because there's always division. And I think a lot of it has to do with ego. Like, I'm on this side, you're on that side. I stood up and said I can help the people on this side. You stood up and said you can help the people on your side. And so, by default, by this model, we have to duel it out. We have to fight. I have to, by default, oppose your position on almost everything because of where I stand, and you have to oppose everything. You have to oppose all my positions because of where you stand. And I think, again, that falls hugely on the egos in the room. The egos that stand up and say, vote for me, I have a solution. So this is what I think is a possible solution to that method. It probably can be viewed a little extreme. But what if instead of having people stand up and say, hey, look at me, I have the solution, I know what to do, I'm your savior, I can represent you. Instead of having people with egos big enough to stand up and do that, who have power and influence and money and ego, obviously, what if there was a true nomination system where we, the people, nominate someone? The nominations that we have now, when it comes down to, DNC, RNC, whatever, towards the end of the whole debates and all that, it's not really a true nomination, because that's the last man or woman standing out of the people that stood up and said, I am the solution, right? And then even then, I won't get into specifics, but even then, the last person standing on either side isn't necessarily chosen by the people. It's chosen by the establishment. So those aren't true nominations. Those aren't nominees. They weren't nominated by anybody. They nominated themselves, right? So what if there was a system where the people truly nominated somebody? Nominated someone who necessarily wouldn't stand up and say, hey, vote for me. Somebody without an ego, somebody that was humble, somebody that was doing good for their community, for their state, for their city, without being told, without, doing it without looking for attention or doing it for recognition. What if the system was changed to where people nominate someone like that? And not against their will, and not say, hey, the people chose you, so yeah, we know you didn't stand up for this position or this office, but they would still have a choice, obviously. But I feel like if the people stood up and nominated people of influence, of positive influence, who are doing great, doing good for the greater good, or doing good regardless already, what if we changed our political system to not truly nominate people in the world that are doing great things. You know, instead of the current system where you need to have an ego, you need to feel like you're somebody, or better than somebody, or richer than somebody, or powerful than somebody, or standing up to nominate yourself because you want to help yourself and help people like you, you know, and you have that division mindset. Like, what if the system changed in that way? You know, I think if there were a lot more humble people in politics, a lot more good-natured people in politics, a lot more people with less ego of themselves and more caring, you know, for other people, and more people willing to make the hard decisions to help the greater good and help more people than just their particular group of people, I feel like the world could change really fast, really significantly. You know, we wouldn't have so much division in politics. Like, I feel like, what if everybody in politics was the same freaking party? What if there was no party? You know, what if you didn't have to be in a party, in a political party? It's like the way the current system's set up now is you don't have a chance if you're not a Democrat or Republican. You know, you have Green Party, you have Libertarian Party, you have other parties. The way it stands now, they don't have a chance. It feels like people that nominate themselves or stand up and say, hey, look at me, I can do this, they have to pick a side. They have to pick one of the two in order to be considered and be even in the running, you know? So that's my 2 cents about that. I feel like maybe there should be some type of system change where people are truly nominated. Truly nominated, you know. And I know you know, when you vote, you can write in names, you know, when you vote for whoever, president, vice president, mayors, governors, senators, congressmen. I know you can write in names, but not many people exercise that. And then, you know, if you already have the names that are there of the people with the ego that nominated themselves, and if you align with a certain political party already, which most Americans do, when you go to vote, you're gonna, you know, you're kind of like already decided, or kind of lean towards already picking someone that nominated themselves, you know. So it's something to think about. And again, I'm not saying every person that's in politics or the political position that nominated themselves and stood up and said, hey, I have the solution. You know, I believe there's a small percentage that are humble, that are good-natured, that are willing to make decisions for the greater good, but they're so dwarfed, they're so drowned out by the egotistical maniacs and crazies out there that we don't really get to notice those guys. I don't think people in power of any office should have an ego. I think you should be the least egotistical person. You should not have an ego. You should not feel better than everyone else. You know, that's not to say you can't be confident. Confidence is important, but I really feel like a lot of politicians are really of serving self and people like them and people that can benefit them. I don't even believe the whole constituent argument. You know, most politicians don't represent their constituents. That's just a fact. You know, they say things that sound good. You know, they have a particular person that they want, a particular demographic of people they would like to vote for them, and they claim to represent. But I think most politicians don't represent their constituents. They represent themselves, and the reason being is they nominated themselves. You know, so. There's my speech about politics. I'll file this under life. Just something to think about. I'm on the road, I probably should pay attention. But yeah, that's all I got. Damn, this thing is shaking so much. Sorry about that. Alright, so I appreciate you guys. If I come up with another topic, I'll probably post it up. Please like, share, subscribe. Bunny Flocks. I talk about cyber, tech, business, life. This thing is shaking too much. I appreciate you guys. Follow my Instagram, follow my Twitter, follow my blog, subscribe on YouTube. I love you guys. And I'm out.